the people who is shitting on me for e-dating or whatever, you're just a dumbass, bro. Like, unsubscribe for, if you think that what I'm doing is weird, please go right ahead and unsubscribe from my channel. I do not want you watching my videos. I don't want you associating with me, and I don't want you thinking I'm cool or anything. Like, I literally just don't want you here. You think that e-dating is weird? Think to yourself this: have I had a girlfriend in real life? If the answer is no to that question, your opinion on anything that I've done ever in my life does not matter. You're a loser, you need to go get some bitches, and you need to figure out what's going on in your life, man. Stop worrying about what other grown men are doing on the internet.
Vrchat trolling is something that's been around for over 5 years at this point. Despite how many people had made videos on it, nobody had really broken it into the mainstream. That was until March of this year, when a TikTok account under the name Proximity Chat would begin posting viral clips of his trolling on Vrchat. The views these videos were getting were absolutely massive, and anybody who had watched him would just be absolutely inspired to do the same thing. After all, it's a completely free game to play, and even if you got banned, you could always just make another account. These videos would often show people going into lobbies, and then rage baiting people until they got so mad they would have insane freakouts.
Can I get a job here?
Dude, fuck off! I'm not in the fucking mood!
Yeah.
Hey, can I get a job here?
Hey, where's
Hold on.
Get the fuck away from me! I am not in the fucking mood!
In the same way I was inspired to start making videos, so was somebody else. Enter Glass. Glass also posted trolling videos, the only difference being that he played Gmod. Wanting to get in on the hype, Glass would post his very first Vrchat video on May 26th. This video would perform extremely well and show that the Vrchat hype train was very much alive. Since that point, Glass has posted over 40 different trolling videos on Vrchat alone. Glass was now building a pretty big community, and what's a better way to talk to your community than making a Discord? Now, up until this point, Glass has actually kept his nose pretty clean. Despite getting in one little spat with Proximity Chat over thumbnails, Glass was seen as a pretty okay guy. But this image of him would not remain for much longer. The problems would begin.
The last 9 months that I've been working on this channel have been the most interesting and amazing months of my entire life. It means the world to me, and you guys have changed my life in ways that you'll never know, and I'm never going to stop making content for you guys. So you're probably wondering at this point why I have mentioned multiple times throughout this video that there are actual allegations being brought up against me. You can look into the recording that Zilla took of the voice chat, however you're probably not going to see the entire thing as they're going to clip it out of context, so I will explain exactly what happened right now. I realized immediately that Zilla was an op, so I set him up for an absolute verbal demolition unbeknownst to mankind, which elicited the exact reaction I was hoping, and he also walked right into the setup because he's mentally retarded, alcoholic, and even though he said he's 17 years old to try and make it seem like I want to do disgusting things to he is a grown-ass man in his mid-20s with an alcohol problem that likes to start shit with YouTubers for fun.
I didn't join instantly. There was a fair bit where he was in there with like another like e-girl profile picture person. They were in that VC for a solid like good 7 minutes before I joined.
And you joined then after that, like they had been in there, you joined.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what he sounded like. I heard just him kind of just talking to the girl, but like very mild flirting. More just boasting about his channel, and it was kind of cringy. It kind of went into just like analytics and stuff, which wasn't very like much of a problem. It was just about like how long his videos were and maybe short style content was. And I was just talking to him. I was like, maybe short style content would be better rather than longer videos. You know, people don't like long videos that are loud. And rather than like constructive criticism, he just like offended to it. And he was like, well, the views are higher. So
he pretty much took it negatively when you were talking to him, you were not instigating.
He never liked me.
Do you know where he got the 20 thing from, or is that just like, is that random?
No clue. The only thing I could imagine is in our DMs I asked him how old he was because he said he wanted that to me. It was in our DMs I asked him how old he was and he said 13, and I replied to that 25 because I knew his actual age, and I don't know if he's gonna try and like paint a picture, you know, push a narrative like, oh, I told him I was 25. I was replying to his I'm 13 years old with 25, because I know he's 25.
Something you'll come to find about Glass over the course of this video is just how much he loves to lie and manipulate his fans. The most important thing to him in just about every single situation is to control the narrative, and as someone who makes trolling content, this is a skill he's already a master at. I think what makes this even more ridiculous was the backpedaling he took after he did what he did.
Hey Zilla, if you want to come in here and act like a fucking moron and get raped, I can rape you right now, but I'm sorry, I'm all filled up for today.
I'd love to see that.
And then some dude who is also of age in FVC said, I'd love to see that, which is even weirder.
All things considered, Zilla actually didn't even care. He wasn't mad, he was more of just confused of what Glass was about to do. Realizing what he said was actually pretty crazy, Glass would panic and ban Zilla from his server, at which point he would begin spreading a false narrative.
Cute.
Hey,
You missed it, there was a pedophile in here before.
Well, we're seriously? What happened, man?
Yeah, his name was, what was his name, guys?
His name was
Shall I go
Zilla?
after me?
Was his name Zilla?
Yeah, his
Yeah,
name was Zilla.
it was.
He's a
Was he
This behavior with people like this is clearly like a fragile ego and like a very small man. This is like, you know, short king energy type thing. Like, this is a coping mechanism, his passive aggression. It's clear he has like anger issues, and he's just like just a small bottled up person with anger, and he gets defensive really easily if you talk on any topic he's sensitive about. So views, YouTube, money, girls, e-girls, height, he will lose his shit.
I want you to imagine for a moment if Glass had never put that section into his video. Glass was receiving just about zero pressure from anybody for these quote-unquote allegations he had against him. Other than a few people on Twitter, just about nobody even knew what he was talking about. But whether from Glass himself or even from Zilla, one girl had found out. August 7th, 2024. Glass is in Vrchat trolling people as he always does. When he decides he wants to troll a group of girls that are sitting in the corner, the very first thing he does is compliment the two girls on the pictures that are in their profile. Not really wanting to talk to him, the girl on the right would tell him to go away, before following up and saying that she even thinks she recognized him. Glass mocks how they talk and then immediately begins to play victim.
Because, man, you're trying to attack me right now, man. I'm just trying to hang out, man, and have a good time.
Now let me ask a question for you, the viewer. Where do you draw the line for what's trolling and for what's harassment? Now, while the answer will vary from person to person, I think most people agree that sexism is about where it starts. For a reason we don't really know, Glass is especially weird when it comes to women, especially once you get into DMs and even the situations behind the scenes, but we'll save all that for later. After receiving plenty of insults, Glass then responds to what the girl's been saying to him in probably one of the creepiest ways possible.
Oh my god, when you two laugh, it makes me so hard.
Can you floss?
A knife to your wrist.
Oh, I will for you, honey. You want me to kill myself for you?
I think it's gross. Are you 26?
You want me to kill myself for you?
Aren't you 26?
No, I'm actually 14.
The girl on the right was pretty annoyed at this point, and this is where she would bait Glass into a witch hunt. Now it's important to note that she didn't even initially figure out who he was. In a desperate attempt to continue the conversation, Glass would then reveal that he's actually a YouTuber, and that they should know who he is.
You were begging for attention to random people for no reason. That
Random
says a
people
lot
for no
about you.
reason. I come up to anybody in a public lobby because I f***ing feel like it.
You're
I don't need a
annoying.
reason.
Maybe don't come up to us.
I don't care if you think I'm annoying, bitch. I really don't give a f***. I don't want your be like these simps to my right and back behind me.
No one ever said that you want my
Just because I don't want your doesn't mean you can be a bitch to me. You know who I am, though? Seriously?
You sound like every other YouTuber
You're welcome for
that
the,
does fucking trolling on Vrchat.
Like who?
You sound like a Glass. You sound like fucking, what's the other one?
Finally, having figured out who he was, she would call him out by his YouTuber name, and then she would make her accusation.
Wait, weren't they all I've heard that from minors that they're
I never heard anything about that.
Yes, my little sister, she sat there and she was like, her and her friends got groomed by them. Like that
Wait,
shit was actually
what?
like
By who?
really up. Yeah. Glass.
Wait, no, tell me.
Yeah, that shit like actually was like really sad.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, the clips were insane.
What did he do? Yeah, what did he say?
What did he say? I can get the clip for you if you want.
Yeah, get the clip.
Okay, I'll get it.
Now, it's safe to say the clip that she was talking about was likely inspired from the Zilla accusations. However, the accusation that she brought up is in fact completely fabricated. However, Glass would then confront her and tell her that she needs to provide evidence. This would lead to a pretty heated debate that would last over an hour long. So, let's skip ahead. Glass would then ask the girl who was on the left for her Discord information in case the clip ever actually popped up, and her name was Zwo. Glass would then go on to troll different parts of the lobby while Zwo was actually present in the background, and then eventually, everyone got off. It seems Glass's investigation had eventually hit a dead end. The clip he was looking for was never real to begin with, and at this point he had no reason to continue talking to Zwo. However, this is where his ulterior motives would come full front.
You gotta let me try and get that pussy, bro. What the fuck? I was trying to fuck her, bro. I was trying to get up on that OnlyFans. I was trying to get them fucking that OnlyFans money.
The whole situation that happened and how I was like drinking I drank like 3 days in a row after that because that shit had me so stressed out. When I started coming out of not drinking as much anymore from that, I was like, because I flirted with him like all of those times, I was like kind of nervous and scared that if I said something that this exact reaction would happen. So I don't know, but I'm glad I broke it off. Like it was only 3 weeks, not even.
Yeah.
As I said before, Glass is not good when it comes to women, and when you place him alone in a situation with one, he's not really sure how to act, which is why after exchanging only a handful of messages, Glass's tone in the DMs had completely changed.
I'm not gonna lie, I do not think you were on my side at all. You agree to never leak DMs? Cause I'm about to tell you all of my girlfriend's red flags and shit. I need help for real. Shit seems too good to be true, and I'm not trying to get fucked here.
No, I wouldn't leak it, unless it was for a good reason. If you're just venting, then I have no reason to leak.
Now during the same time as these DMs, Glass was actually dating somebody already. My theory on why he did this is actually pretty simple, as by bringing up his ex, Glass could then transition the conversation into asking her about her exes and find out if Zwo was single. Regardless, this conversation between the two would continue. And then Glass would say something that would later make him a hypocrite.
I think she's mad at me.
Who?
All I VM'd was that stuff from before.
I had you at her because I don't make friends with girls behind her back.
Yeah, that's hella respectful, I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, I want her to feel secure, but I still don't think I should be with her honestly. If she has a problem with you and I being friends, I will break up with her.
I think you should do what makes you happy.
So at this point, Glass has only known Zwo for about 8 hours. Yet he was willing to drop his current girlfriend just so he could continue messaging Zwo. Glass had become obsessed. But why was he so interested in her? I mean, he's only known her at this point for 7 hours. Isn't it a little unrealistic to obsess over somebody even if you don't know anything about him? Well, that's why we need to take a break and talk about who Zwo even is. Zwo is an OnlyFans model who happens to play Vrchat in her free time. She's a part of the nightlife community that normally comes alive during the weekends, where people will go from bar to bar and get drunk while making friends. This is how Zwo met the girl from earlier, and because of that, the two actually don't really know each other that well. Zwo had recently broken up with an ex of hers, leading to a week-long period where she did nothing but drink. It's several days into this period where Glass had run into the two girls. Because of this, she wasn't really thinking straight for the first few days of knowing Glass, but regardless of the circumstances, it's undeniable that she at least had some interest in him, even if just for validation. Now, these DMs are actually pretty personal, so I'm only going to show stuff I need to for the video, but one more thing you need to know before we fast forward is how Zwo had already told Glass that she is still talking to her ex. Although I don't think Glass really seemed to read that. This one little mistake will become very important. Would you say you told Glass to leave you alone?
Yes.
And you told him this how many times?
I told him a lot, like multiple times to leave me alone, but he kept going on.
How far did your relationship go between you two?
It didn't go very far. It was only for like 3 weeks. The only thing I ever sent him were public pictures I had already posted of myself, of my butt.
So you sent him pictures of your butt, but they were with clothing on and they were from your public Twitter.
Yes.
And did he send anything back?
The only thing he had ever sent me was ab pics, and he sent 2, and then he only sent his face twice as well.
Has this situation made you feel unsafe?
Definitely, because I'm getting stalked and harassed by people I don't even know.
Has Glass affected how you use the internet?
Definitely. I've had to make my Twitter private because he had put my Twitter into his Discord, which had minors in it at the time. He had posted my Twitter into his server and told people to go pretty much see what I was doing, harass me, etc.
What do you say on Glass's claim that you led him on?
I do apologize for flirting with him at first, but really I never really thought of it like that deep because we never did anything that serious. It was always just flirting.
If you were leading Glass on, why did you accept his request to start dating?
He had asked me multiple times. I said no the first couple of times he asked me, but then one morning at like 7 in the morning when I was drinking as well, he asked me again and I just said sure. I was scared and nervous because I was already flirting with him and everything if I rejected how he would act.
So you were worried he might post something on you or take some action against you?
Yeah.
What led to you two breaking up?
I did like him at first, but I started losing my feelings for him, like liking him, the longer I got to know him throughout those 3 weeks, and I didn't want to be with him anymore because my feelings changed.
So later when he tried to weaponize that your feelings changed against you, how do you respond to him saying that to you?
Well, I'm only human and it's only natural for your feelings to change once you get to know someone more.
Zwo's interest in Glass was slowly fading. For the last 3 weeks, she and Glass had messaged each other almost every single day. And Zwo was beginning to get annoyed by this, as the vast majority of the conversations would either be about her OnlyFans or something Glass recorded online. Glass was actually getting pretty pushy about the OnlyFans, and even was fantasizing about moving in with her. Obviously, this was becoming pretty overwhelming for Zwo, and she was doing her best to play it all off. However, it's very obvious that the energy is not there, and it's at this point that Glass starts having doubts about the relationship. These are where his messages start to become a little creepy. While it's obvious with hindsight that we can tell that Zwo is not interested, Glass just somehow does not see it. He begins double messaging, then triple, then quad, anything to keep a conversation going. Eventually, he says that he feels off, and after 3.5 weeks, it's finally time for Zwo to speak her mind.
How are you feeling about us and everything? I felt like the last few days you haven't really been comfortable talking to me, and it's been making me feel really down. Would you rather talk and call or over text?
I just personally don't feel like being in a relationship right now. I think I might have already given reasons, but I'm sorry that my actions have made you feel down. I just don't feel I'm ready or even want to do a long-distance relationship. Even if you could come to where I'm at, it's really overwhelming and just too soon. It's obvious you care a lot and I care a lot as well. I just don't want to be in a relationship.
This one message was about to lead to the absolute biggest crash out I think I've ever seen in Discord history. Yet again, I don't want to be personal about what I show, but at the same time, the messages I'm reading from have actually been compiled by Glass himself, but we'll get on that later. Now, I don't really know how to show you guys just how much he messaged her after this, so I actually copy and pasted every single message Glass sent from this point on. I then went through and painstakingly cut out every single message Zwo had sent. The only thing I didn't do was mess with the spacing. So while the sentence count is off, the word count is not. Glass sent Zwo 12,951 words. This actually goes over the maximum word count for a short story. So these messages are literally longer than some books. Paragraph after paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. Glass could not handle the rejection, and despite trying to be peaceful about it, Zwo could not calm him down. It's at this point he would begin going through the stages of grief, along with his manipulation tactics, in a desperate attempt to make her feel guilty and come right back to him. This would continue over the next 3 days, and even though Zwo told him multiple times that she does not want to go out with him, Glass's delusions remain untouched, begging to know what changed and how he could get her to like him again. Although Zwo was initially trying to let him go easy, as Glass's threats to himself began to ramp up, she began to get more and more blunt with him. And after 3 days of pressure, Zilla finally began sharing some of these DMs with people she knew. One of these people would then take to Instagram and share private details from the DMs, including Glass's face. Now, regardless of your stance on this situation, it was not right to dox his face. However, this is not Zilla's fault. Regardless, after this Instagram post went public, people would begin discussing this in multiple discords. In one of these discords, somebody was a fan of Glass, at which point he reached out to Glass to notify him on what was going on. And so, in a moment of desperation for the truth, Glass would compile every single one of his DMs between the two and make them public for everyone to see, claiming he's not ashamed of a single message sent between the two. Well, except for the messages he censored out. Now, initial reactions were kinda confused. Nobody was really keeping up with Glass's personal life like he thought they were, but initial opinions were definitely confused to say the least. Zilla also put out a few vague tweets discussing some of the manipulation she had gone through in her 3-week fling with Glass. Glass was trying to talk to Zilla directly. When she refused his request to talk to him, Glass decided he would take matters into his own hands, loading up Vrchat in the middle of the night just so he could track down Zilla. And after 10 minutes of searching, eventually he would find her.
Yo, it's crazy how you actually are a fucking cloud chaser, and we just spent the last month all together, and you said all that shit to me, and this fucking loser right here means more to you than I do. You're such a fucking kill yourself. You have no job. You're a loser. I hope you get killed. Fuck you. I hope you get killed. Fuck you. I hope you get killed. You're a fucking loser, bro. You're a loser, bro. You're a loser. You're a loser. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. I could get any bitch I want. Kill yourself. But I had yours. Kill yourself. Oh my god, I'm about to stalk you. Are you ready for me to stalk you as well? I'm coming for you. I know where you're at. And they're not gonna know it's me.
Now, if you remember earlier, I had said that somebody had leaked Glass's face onto their public Instagram, but I think it's important to make sure we have a timeline of events. Because while they had posted these things were posted in response to Glass and his crash out in the middle of the night. You see, Zilla had told him multiple times that she was not interested in talking to him anymore. Yet Glass insisted that he must speak to her and then eventually tracked her down in Vrchat just to yell at her. The screenshots that were being posted on Instagram were only posted after his crash out on Zilla, along with the fact it was a response to his harassment, manipulation, and stalking online. And just like previous accusations, Glass was sitting there debating how to spin the narrative. And that's why when he eventually would address the situation, he would switch up the timeline of events. But we'll get on that video he made later. Now, Glass being a trolling YouTuber, he has a litany of alternate accounts. Because of this, Glass could hop on any of these accounts and watch her in Vrchat, and she would have no idea. And this is something he has done on multiple occasions. Even right now as I voice this line, Glass literally did it last night.
Saving my money.
Kick him then. Why is this weirdo here stalking and harassing
If you kick me, I'll be back. So don't kick me. I promise you, I'll be back. You probably won't be here, but I'll be back. That's your excuse? You're so weird. You're a disgusting whore. You're disgusting.
Even getting blocked several times and then coming back on alternate accounts.
I got something out of him. I'm going back on another account, guys.
Glass was even getting his community to look into Zilla and was even sharing her alternate social media accounts as a way to harass her. He then doubled down on this by saying he was gonna conduct some server maintenance, at which point he would delete every single chat in his Discord server, thus wiping any and all evidence of the wrongdoings he had conducted. But unfortunately for Glass, the majority of this evidence did survive, including what he did to a long-term fan right after his breakup.
Yeah.
Is it really that crazy? Come on now, is it really that crazy? I've said worse to people.
Okay.
Hey, you want to be my next Vrchat girlfriend?
No, I'm good.
For the sake of this video, the next person I'm going to introduce is named Yuki. Yuki had been a longtime fan of Glass and joined his Discord to show support for him, although as the saying goes, you should never meet your heroes. Now, Yuki and Zilla had actually gotten to know each other over the course of the few weeks that Zilla was in the server. Because of this, these two were actually still talking even after Glass had blocked her. Seeing how Zilla had been wronged, Yuki decided she was going to go undercover to see if he'd treat other women the same way. And simply put, it was hook, line, and sinker. Although initially skeptical, Yuki would manage to convince him that she's really on his side. Or at least, that's how it seemed. Having learned from his interactions with Zilla, Glass was a little more careful this time on what he said. You see, Glass was aware that Zilla and Yuki knew each other, Because of this, he became friends with Yuki in order to collect information on Zuo, and over the next 4 days would use her exactly as such. Now, something to note about Yuki is that she is schizophrenic, and Glass was very aware of this. She was also one to take a blade to herself, and Glass would enable her by asking her to send him pictures. As I said before, Glass was having Yuki collect information on Zuo, and at the same time was trusting her enough to attempt to date her. And while he had told her that he's not looking for a relationship, it's pretty obvious that he was at least planning to try, saying things like how she wants him, and even telling her to put on a shock collar while he passes out. But unfortunately, after only 2 days, Glass would find Yuki guilty of leaking the DMs, and because he had been backstabbed, was about to enact his revenge.
If she took everything I say seriously and knows who I am, I mean, that's a bit scary. I think is literally right now, as we speak, deleting messages that she sent me. I really wish I could find her name here in this list. You can tell me whatever you want. I was using that girl. Dude, I knew it the whole time. Like, you guys don't understand. I know everything because I'm actually genuinely, like, if I wasn't a YouTuber and all this shit, I would be in college right now to get my master's in psychology. Like, I genuinely enjoy doing this to a degree where it's probably disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually enjoy manipulating people, especially people who backstab me and fucking think that they can get a one-up on me.
And it's at this point he would begin to weaponize her schizophrenia against her. In a desperate attempt to make himself seem virtuous, Glass would hop on a VC in his Discord server and begin showing everyone there his DMs. He even began asking her for images of blade on skin. So let's hear how he spun the situation.
And you see there's a distinct lack of DMs coming from this other person because they deleted all of them. I'm sure they, however, have them all. Not that they're going to show them because it's a bit embarrassing what they were doing. But they were basically pretending to crash out in the DMs, saying a bunch of things like they were going to harm themselves and all that. And so I had them send me voice memos, which they've since deleted, obviously for pretty good reason. I was basically just fucking with her at that point, because once I knew she wasn't being serious, I saw it as a joke, to be honest. The real reason why I was trying to speak to this female in particular was because I knew that she had connections with Zuo, and I wanted to know if Zuo was thinking about doxing me completely and giving people my address. And this person I spoke to a few times in call. Every single time we spoke in call, though, it was always with there was always somebody else there. I spoke to this person one time, I think it was, one time alone, and it was when they called me after randomly adding me, after having had me blocked for a while, and they were like fake crying. They were fake crying, saying that they didn't want to be involved in the drama anymore, which was very weird to me, considering that this person is obviously and has obviously been in contact with Zuo the entire time. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I mean, this person here is pretty fucking disgusting. They said some pretty disgusting shit to me in order to try and emotionally manipulate me into caring about them, which obviously didn't work, because not only is this person, they claim to be schizophrenic, which I kind of believe, but in a way I don't, because they told me a lot of shit that I don't believe. And on 9/22, everything will come to light. All of the DMs that I had with this person, where I was just trying to be nice to them in order to get information out of them, are gonna come to light, guys. They do have a shock collar, and I was offering to use their link, and when they sent me their link of their shock collar, I was going to just absolutely fucking shock the shit out of them, and yeah, have a little bit of fun with it. But they never did end up sending me that, so unfortunately I didn't get the satisfaction of being able to do that, unfortunately. But I did get the satisfaction of being able to completely and utterly decimate this dumb fuck in the DMs when I realized that they were just trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do. I'd like to move on from this, having to defend myself against these dumbasses who want to just clip what I say. And look, like, you're looking at my DMs on the screen right now. Like, if I was ashamed of any of this shit that I said, I wouldn't be showing it to you guys. These people are manipulative. They're trying to, and they're not, it's not that they're manipulative, it's that they're manipulative in a malicious fashion. They're manipulative in a malicious fashion, and they're trying to actually end my career over me speaking to females online, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty weird shit, man.
So, are we beginning to see a pattern? Glass gets in contact with somebody, learns something about them, and then begins to manipulate them until they do what he wants. Whether he's right or wrong, or even if he has any evidence at all, he makes up a narrative and moves on. If Glass had truly known that she was not being serious, then why did he add her on Telegram? And if he had said that he was just trying to be nice, then why did he want the link to her shot collar so bad? Also, another thing to mention, Glass had brought up that Yuki had him blocked, but that she randomly unblocked him in the middle of the night and called him while crying about drama. And while this really did happen, the crying that he had called fake was very real. You see, after I got in contact with Yuki, she began working with me on this investigation. However, after interviewing her, she would go into Vrchat and get blackout drunk, and while having an episode, would then call Glass crying and beg not to be included in future videos, which as just shown, he had done already.
I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
What happened? Now, I'm not really sure what Glass said to her, as when I asked her later what had happened on the call, she could not remember a single thing. However, what I do know is that out of fear of being put into a Glass video, Yuki had almost taken her own life. You see, the reason she's so scared of being put into a video is because she does not want to be rediscovered by her real-life abuser, which is why her name has been censored for the entire course of this video. So now we're left with a pretty weird question. What exactly had he said to her on the Discord call? And as of right now, this question remains unanswered.
I'm
Hook,
two
line, and
steps
sinker,
ahead.
baby.
I'm 2 steps ahead.
Like Zwo thought she had me hook, line, and sinker, but guess what?
Look at you, rent free on that ego.
I broke
That's
off the hook.
embarrassing. You just proved my point. No, you got baited, bro. You got baited hard by an old.
How am I rent free when she literally threatened me tonight?
You literally threatened yourself. You literally threatened yourself in Discord DMs.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I was gonna do something, dumbass.
Bro, you use it as a manipulation tactic.
Oh my god, it's like I wasn't actually going to kill myself.
Earthblood, do you not see what's going on?
I think it's important we take a moment to discuss the harassment that Zwo was facing. On the daily, Zwo would receive all kinds of DMs, and this is something me and my team would have to work on. It's around this point that I had been working with Zwo directly and decided to put out my biggest bluff yet. Everything comes to light. 9/22/24. This little message began spreading discreetly throughout Glass's Discord and even on his Twitter. Every time he saw the message, it was from a new account, or in a way he had not expected. Glass took this as a threat, and would even match this message by saying, "The hammer will be dropped 9/13. Ergblau would then DM Zwo personally, asking if she would like an interview. And based on how other interviews had gone, Zwo knew this would be a bad idea. When Zwo simply responded with her message, immediately assumptions began being made. And not even 10 minutes later, Glass would put out this tweet, telling everybody that Zwo was about to release a bad pic of him. But here's what makes this so funny. Zwo had never received a picture like this, nor was she aware one even existed. Glass had openly admitted to sending exposing pictures of himself to random people on the internet. But given as none of us have this evidence, this is all just speculation. However, he did talk about it in one of his live streams.
Did you send your pic to this girl?
No.
Then why are you bragging? Why are you scared? Why are you talking as if she did that? As if they're going to do this? Like, I don't understand.
Because I know things that you don't, but also I sent my pic to a different girl. How does my dick pic leaking fuck me over?
I don't understand why you thought it was a good idea.
Well, because I was horny,
I mean,
bro.
just thought, hey, how about I just send that dick pic to that random girl on the internet? Nothing could possibly go wrong after doing this.
Oh, it's Zilla.
Is that what you thought?
Zilla's here now. I mean, I've sent my dick pic to a few women, but like throughout my whole life, and I've never gotten like a negative reaction from it, you know what I mean? Like it's always been...
Okay, but they're gonna release that
like
to the internet. The difference, okay, but here's the difference. They're gonna release that on the internet, and
Yeah,
everyone's
that's
gonna
not
see
like
it.
a bad thing for me, though.
You're saying like they're going to do it. I mean, you know?
I mean, that's
they're
the
going to
assumption I
release
have
it.
based on what I know. I think that's what they're going to do. Like, I assume you probably don't really talk to many
I don't
females.
e-date
You probably don't
like
have
you
a
do,
big dick.
Les.
You probably don't have
I don't
much
e-date like
going
you
for
do, Les.
you.
That's the difference.
Maybe
Women,
I like to have e-dates because I can do whatever the fuck I feel like doing and move on and go to bed and not have to worry about her anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's a bunch of different factors.
Okay. Okay, Glass. If you say so. I mean, I think that's just stupid, but if you say so, Glass,
I
you
think
should have
that
known
people
this.
like,
You should have been smarter
bro,
than
like
that.
you are literally the people that I fuck with on Vrchat. You understand that, right? Like you're obviously not very smart. You're coming in here immediately getting like emotional. I mean, you're obviously acting emotional, bro. Everybody in the chat.
Well,
is
I am
talking about
laughing,
it.
so I guess that's that one emotion.
Now I'm sure you're pretty curious what Glass meant when he said we'll see the light on 9/13. You see, Glass had dug his own hole in his server by releasing all his private DMs, and with the backlash getting to him, he decided he was going to make an entire video addressing the case. and on 9/11 he would release this video 2 days early to his members on his YouTube channel. This video is filled with all kinds of holes and was constantly switching up narratives.
I'm going to go through everything that is relevant and important in this video in order to give you all the full story so that there is no confusion and nothing out of context. Glass, why did you drop the entire DMs between you and Zwoloft? The reason why I decided to drop the entire DMs between myself and Zwo in my Discord server is because of the following reasons. Firstly, Zwo made a tweet on her Twitter saying that if anyone wants to know what happened, they can DM her and find out. What happened next was people started coming into my Discord server with screenshots of Zwo and I's private DMs that were not Zwo. And finally, what made me pull the trigger on dropping our entire DMs was when one of Zwo's friends, with 14,000 followers on Instagram, posted screenshots of my DMs to Zwo as well as my face reveal on her Instagram story, directing them to come into my Discord and talk shit to me. I never once sent anybody to attack Zwoloft directly. She did though.
Despite saying he was going to take nothing out of context, Glass had completely removed a part of the timeline, saying that Zwo had started this when she had put out her tweet, despite the fact that her tweets only came as a response to Glass's 3 days of harassment and stalking online. He also had spun the narrative by saying that he had never sent anyone after Zwo directly, and that's because he sent them indirectly, and was also present when his entire Discord decided to go through her Twitter. This is also ignoring all the times he had gone after her in Vrchat, along with how much he had been talking about her on all of his live streams.
Zwoloft decided to leak my DMs to people after I had found out she was lying to me and confronted her and Kai in a house party world on Vrchat. If you want to see that interaction, you can check it out on my Twitter, which I will link below.
And yet again, it was another lie. Glass had spun the narrative to say that Zwo was leaking DMs because she had been caught, completely skipping over the fact that at this point, they had been completely broken up for the last 3 days. Although in Glass's head, because he himself does not see the relationship is over, it is not over.
I had no intentions of leaking our DMs or getting people to attack her or dox her or anything malicious at all, but she felt the need to come into my instance and leak my face reveal and DMs out of context as stickers, which was completely unnecessary. This has been dragged on and on and on by her crashing out somewhat daily on her Twitter about the situation. She has been talking to people who have been making up lies about the things that I say about her to her in order to make me look worse in the situation than I really am.
So according to the tweet on screen, Glass had recorded a bipolar episode and then claimed that it was a lie that she had been told. Although it's kind of hard to call it a lie when you literally use the audio in the same video.
As well as her trying to keep me on the hook and manipulate me by saying there is nobody else and everything is fine.
And now for the second time in this video, Glass has pulled things out of context. The first message about not wanting to be with anyone else was pulled out of context when she was trying to explain to him why she does not want to date. And even if she was talking to somebody else after this, it shouldn't matter at all because at this point, these two are literally not dating. The second message was also pulled out of context and reads that everything is fine. The context of this message is not about their relationship, but rather in her being present for an event that Glass will also be at. So at this point, we're only 2.5 minutes into the video, and yet Glass has already told 6 lies. I could honestly stop critiquing his video right here and my point would be made, but there's just one more lie I want to show.
She also told me many different times that she just needs space, when in all reality, she just didn't want me to be around her because she was trying to hide the fact that she was hanging out with this guy from me. She also used the excuse that she didn't want me to be around her while she's drunk, which was a lie because she was hanging out with this other dude, which at the end of the day, I don't really care what she was doing at all. What I care about is the fact that she was not open and honest with me about it because it feels to me as though she was trying to manipulate me.
Now, while I could easily answer this question, I want to make my point that this is a pretty obvious answer. So I'm going to put up some choices on the screen, and I want you, the viewer, to choose between these 4 and leave them in the comments. I'll also pin the very first comment I see with the right answer, and look forward to reading your answers.
No matter what way you want to spin this situation, I am not the bad guy here. I am not ashamed of anything I said to you in the DMs, and I did say some things in those DMs in order to try and manipulate you as well into coming clean and telling me the truth by testing your empathy.
So if all this information is so public, why did nobody ever try and make a video on it? I mean, at this point, it's been almost 2 weeks and nobody's made a single move on it. Well, to put it lightly, Glass was threatening his platform. And this was the case with somebody named You see, when Glass had actually leaked his DMs on the 2nd, Felix was one of the people that got a copy of it. He then told somebody that knew me, and that person dragged me into a group chat where he was sharing these DMs. He told the group that he was going to be making a video on it, and then all of us went to bed for the night. However, between him and a few other people in the group, too many people were being added to this group chat, and in no time at all, somehow the group had gotten leaked. And in the chaos, I quickly messaged Woe and told her to add me, where we would then make our own investigation group. This one event is the reason I even made the video. And unfortunately for this one event would be the reason he did not make a video. Because after the group got leaked, Felix had immediately begun receiving threats from Glass himself, and then would confess to me privately that his friendship with another creator was at risk. When it comes to Glass, the manipulation is very real. And to this day, Glass is still uploading about various dramas.
Oh no!
Come here.
Oh no! Oh
Come
no!
here.
Oh god! No, that's Glass,
Come here.
guys.
Why were you my informant, but then you turned on me, you son of a bitch?
Informant? What the fuck are you talking about?
You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, you little brony fuck.
Despite the fact he's talked about most of these problems, his core fans have been fed a false narrative. Between Zilla, Zwo, Yuki, and even some I haven't mentioned, Glass continues to post consequence-free, where his current reign of harassment continues forward. Now earlier in the video I had mentioned that we were spreading along a little message, and I'm sure you're probably wondering what it means. Everything comes to light, 9/22. And well, Glass has already explained half of it for me, so allow me to fill in the second half. No, Glass, we're not going to be releasing an exposing picture of you. Instead, I'm going to be making public all of your wrongdoings. And I hope this is the only video I have to make. So Glass, if you really are listening, just know this is not the only evidence I have. Also, allow me to repay the favor of when you made a beat on Zwo's voice. I think it's pretty funny that you were willing to lie about it, and then use the audio clip at the end of the video. So Glass, allow me to put mine at the end of the video as well.
Oh, please don't leave me, baby. Looking ass nigga. Over here dating bitches on the internet, but you make fun of people that do the same thing in your videos. Come on, bro. Listen. I don't know where you got the goal to treat people like this, but this is the end. All that YouTube fan getting to your head. Damn, it's finna be the end. Ah, damn, look. Hey, Glass, what are you doing? Doing girls through the screen, nigga. Who you screwing? TOS, nigga, that's the move. That's the move. You on my channel, come and get the exclusive. Look, told the minor that you was gonna rip him. Call the D's, this nigga should be taken. He's an actor for the views, he be faking. Glass plus his ex chat, let's solve this equation. Started beefing with the bitch, going back to back. Told her every profanity in the book. That's the future sign of how y'all relations look. And God forbid she ain't answer you back. You started tweaking like a bitch, she started to crack. As a man.